I didn't realize anything was wrong that morning. It felt like every other morning. I was sitting at my kitchen table, staring at nothing, waiting for the kettle to boil. Then I saw the empty chair across from me. That chair had been empty for years, but that was the first time it actually hurt. That was when the thought came to me, slow and clear. I am 82 years old and I never appreciated what I had. When I was younger, I didn't think life would end up like this. I thought old age was far away, almost imaginary. Back then, I believed that if I kept moving, kept working, everything would fall into place on its own. I grew up in a modest home. Nothing special, but nothing missing either. My parents didn't talk much about feelings. They worked, ate dinner together, went to sleep, and did it all again the next day. I thought that was normal. I thought that was all life needed. When I left home, I was eager. Eager to earn money, eager to build something that looked like success. My first job didn't pay much, but it made me feel important. I was tired most days, but I told myself that was a good sign. It meant I was doing something right. Then I met my wife. She wasn't loud. She wasn't demanding. She just had a calm way of being present. She noticed things I walked past without seeing. At the time, I didn't understand how valuable that was. We married young. We didn't have a plan, just hope. Our first home was small and slightly crooked, but it was ours. She made it warm without trying. I thought that warmth would always be there, no matter what. Life became routine quickly. Wake up early, go to work, come home exhausted, eat dinner, sleep. She talked about her day while we ate. I nodded. Sometimes I responded. Most of the time, my mind was somewhere else. I thought listening meant hearing the words. I didn't realize it also meant slowing down. When our children were born, the house filled with sound. Crying, laughter, footsteps running down the hallway. I loved them deeply, but I often watched from a distance. I told myself I was doing my part by working longer hours. I believed providing was the same as being there. Days blended together. Weeks passed quietly. Years moved without asking permission. We ate meals together, but quickly. I was always thinking about the next thing, the next bill, the next responsibility. The next year when things would finally be easier. She would sit beside me in the evenings. Sometimes she spoke, sometimes she didn't. I thought the silence meant comfort. Now I know it also meant distance. I didn't notice when the children grew taller than me. I didn't notice when their visits became shorter. I didn't notice when the house became quieter. At the time, I thought this was just life moving forward. I didn't understand that something important was slipping through my hands. And I didn't stop to hold it. One day, I realized how fast everything had gone. It wasn't during a big event. It was a normal afternoon when the house felt too large for just one person. That was when it scared me. Not the silence itself, but how familiar it had become. By then, the children had lives of their own. They called when they could. They visited when time allowed. I told them I understood, and I meant it. Still, after they left, the quiet returned even heavier. My wife and I spent more time sitting across from each other. We talked about small things, groceries, weather, appointments. The deeper conversations felt harder to reach. I assumed there would always be another chance. Then she started getting tired more often. She brushed it off. So did I. We had spent our whole lives pushing through tiredness. I thought this was no different. The hospital came suddenly. Bright lights, slow hours. I sat beside her bed, holding her hand, trying to stay calm. She looked at me with the same gentle expression she always had. That was when it hit me. If I lost her, I would lose the person who had quietly held my life together. She passed without noise. No final speeches, no warnings. Just a stillness that settled in the room and followed me home. After that, time lost its shape. Mornings came, but they didn't bring energy. I ate because I needed to, not because I wanted to. I filled the rooms with sound from the television just to remind myself I was still here. That was when the regret started. Not sharp, not loud, just steady. I regretted the dinners I rushed, the evenings I chose quiet over conversation, the moments I thought were ordinary and replaceable. I began noticing things too late. Her favorite cup in the cabinet, her coat still hanging by the door, the way she used to pause before speaking, as if choosing her words carefully. Now, at 82, I understand something I didn't before. Life doesn't announce what matters most. It shows up quietly and waits to be noticed. If you're listening to this and someone came to mind, don't push that thought away. Reach out to them. Say something simple. You don't need a reason. Time feels endless when you're busy. It feels precious when you slow down. If you'd like, share a part of your story in the comments. It helps to know we're not alone in these thoughts. And if this spoke to you, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it and subscribing for more quiet conversations like this. There are days now when memories come without warning. I'll be folding laundry or standing by the window, and suddenly I'm back in another time. Not the big moments, the small ones. Her voice calling me for dinner, the sound of plates touching the table, the way she waited for me to sit before she started eating. Those moments didn't feel important then. They felt normal. I thought normal meant permanent. Living alone teaches you things you never asked to learn. You learn how loud a clock can be. You learn how much space one person doesn't need. You learn that silence can feel heavier than noise. Some evenings I cook the same meals we used to share. I still make too much. Old habits stay longer than people do. I eat slowly now, not because the food tastes better, but because there's no rush. I walk through the rooms and notice details I once walked past. The scratch on the wall from when we moved the couch, the window she liked to open in the morning, the chair where she used to sit and read. None of these things mattered to me when they were happening. I was always focused on what came next. Another day, another task, another year. Now I understand something that feels uncomfortable to admit. The life I wanted was already there. I just didn't see it. I thought appreciation was something you felt when you achieved more, when you reached a goal, when things slowed down. I didn't realize appreciation is something you practice while life is still full. There's a quiet kind of regret that doesn't cry or shout. It just stays. It shows up when you wish you could ask one more simple question, when you wish you could say thank you for something you assumed would never leave. I don't blame myself the way I used to. I understand now that I was doing what many people do, trying to build a future without noticing the present. But if I could speak to my younger self, I wouldn't tell him to work less or try harder. I would tell him to pause, to listen fully, to stay at the table a little longer. At 82, my days are quieter, but my thoughts are clearer. I know now that time doesn't wait for understanding. It moves forward whether you're paying attention or not. If someone in your life crossed your mind while listening to me, don't ignore that feeling. Call them, message them, sit with them if you can. You don't need to say anything important. One day, the ordinary moments will be the ones you miss most. If you feel like sharing, leave a comment and tell a small part of your story. Someone reading it might feel less alone. And if this conversation meant something to you, consider sharing it with someone you care about and subscribing so we can keep having these quiet talks together. Thank you for listening to An Old Man Remember.